guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Courtney and today I will be showing you how you can make these 3 DIY Valentine signs for very cheap, so stay tuned. For the first DIY, I will be upcycling this sign that I picked up from Hobby Lobby on clearance. It was in the fall stuff and I paid about $1.15 for it. And I'll be using some of this plaster paint by Waverly, and I'm going to end up painting 3 coats on the frame here where it says gather around. Now the back of this is just plain and you certainly could use the back. However, the frame actually sits a little bit deeper, if that makes sense. So if you flip it over, it's a deeper frame and I didn't really want that. But you certainly could turn this into a multi-seasonal sign by doing something on the front and doing something on the back. While my sign is drying, I'm going to take some of this Crimson Waverly chalk paint along with some of the Merlot, and I'm going to mix them together to get a little bit of a deeper red, but not as deep as the Merlot, not as bright as the Crimson. And I'm going to paint these letters that I got from Hobby Lobby in a pack. It came with 96 letters, I believe, for $3.99 or $2.99, and then you can use them with a coupon for 40% off or 50% off, and I just love how these letters look. So I'm going to end up just painting these with 2 coats of this paint, and then I'm going to let these dry. The love letters are drying, and now I'm going to build a thing here. So taking an empty wrapping paper roll, I always save these. I'm going to cut 2 little pieces off of one of the rolls, and then I'm going to use one of the long bamboo skewer sticks from Dollar Tree. And basically what I'm making here is a little stand to put my beads on so that I can paint them a little easier and they can dry and it's good to go. I know there's a million ways you could probably do this. You could not have to build a little thing like this, but I don't know, it's fun, I like it, so it's just something different, you know, change it up every now and then. So I'll just poke holes in it, put some beads on there, and then I'll start painting my beads. Now I'm using the 14mm beads. I always buy these on Amazon. I'll link down below the ones that I always buy, and I always keep different beads in stock. This is the ballet slipper colored paint from Waverly, and I'm gonna paint 4 of these, and then I'm gonna leave 4 natural, and then I decide I want to throw in a little bit of red, so I end up painting some red beads as well using the red that I painted the love letters. Ready to start stringing up my beads. So I'm going to take the pink beads off, and I'm going to be using some twine that I put a piece of tape at one end. And like I said, I start off with 4 pink and 4 natural, and then I'm like, I need red. So then I go back in and add some red. So I'll mess with this for a little while, and then once I get my bead strand ready to go, I'm ready to start assembling my sign. And this is the pattern I ultimately decide to use, as you can see right there. So it's a total of 10 beads for this sign. And now, once I figured that out, I'm going to string them all up, and I'm ready to start assembling my sign for real this time. And now I'm ready to put my sign together. So I put my love letters down, just kind of basically where I wanted. And then what I decided to do was to tie a little bow in kind of the middle of the twine, just like this. And then I'm gonna have the beads kind of coming off each side on the tails. So once I figured out where the center of my sign was, I'm gonna hot glue my little bow to the center of the sign, and then my beads will kind of drape on either side of the bow. after the bow was glued down, then I'm going to knot off the ends of these beads, and then I'm gonna go ahead and hot glue the pink beads at the very ends down. I don't end up gluing all the beads, just these pink ones to secure it, and then kind of secure the knots as well with a little bit of hot glue so that they're nice and attached to my sign. The last step for this sign is to go ahead and glue down these letters, and again I'm just going to use some regular old hot glue, and then my sign is finished. Here it is, all completed. Now let's move into the next DIY. For the next DIY, I'll be using one of these mason jar signs from the Dollar Tree. Mine still had tons of these signs in stock. Now, if you can't find it, you certainly could use a regular mason jar, but what I'm gonna do is take off the glitter on the sign, and my preferred method for dealing with the glitter from Dollar Tree is to just spray it with some Goo Gun, scrape it like this. As you can see, it clumps off, and ta-da, it's done. There's no flying glitter. It's not as messy as sanding. Plus, I really don't like the sound of sandpaper on these things. So for me, this works really well, and that's how I always get it off. Now, this will become the back, but I did want to just go ahead and get it off so that it's somewhat smooth when I paint over it. Now I'm ready to paint, and again I'll be using the plaster from Waverly, and I'm just going to end up painting the entire thing. I'm not worried about the lid portion because that will be covered up, but I'm just going to paint the back with about 2 coats of this, and then go on to the other side and paint that along with the sides of the jar. While the jar is drying, I took some red fabric that I had several different colors, but this is the one I really liked, and I'm simply just folding it in half, and then I'm going to cut more of an oval than a circle. Like I said, I really don't want it to be round. I want it to be more egg-shaped. And the reason being is when you put this on top of the jar, with it being more ovaled, the front of it will kind of hang down a little bit, and it'll be shorter on the sides, which is what I wanted. So that is why I cut it, but you certainly could cut a circle if you prefer that look. It's just your preference. For an embellishment for my jar, I'm going to be taking off one of these little tin hearts from this sign that Dollar Tree has out this year, and they popped right off, no issues. So I'm just going to pop it off, and then I'll be ready to start assembling my mason jar. Now to assemble this, I'm going to take first my piece of fabric and set it on the top of my jar, and then the twine that was on it, I'm going to be using that. Now I'm not going to hot glue this on there because that twine was on there pretty tight, and it actually holds it super secure, so you don't really need to do any extra securing to it. And now I'm just going to kind of finagle this back on there and get it to how I want it to look, kind of adjust the little ruffles how I want it to look, and then the last step will be to just glue my heart to the front of this mason jar. And this is what it looks like when it's all finished. Now let's get into the last DIY. last DIY, I will be using one of these little signs from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be brutally honest here. I struggled to break this thing down. Normally, I can get it pretty easily because I've used these before, and they always have these little shadow type box thingies at Dollar Tree. But you guys, I'm not even kidding. Like, I was doing some serious surgery and hammering, and I just won't even bore you with all I did to make it come out. But anyway, I want to pop the back off, and then I'm just going to attach a piece of Valentine scrapbook paper to the back. Then I'm going to go ahead and assemble it back by painting the circle and adding a little wooden heart. Here's the scrapbook paper that I put inside the frame. I left the frame gray because the scrapbook paper had gray little hearts on it conveniently. And that scrapbook paper is just out of those seasons pack that Hobby Lobby sells. Every year, I think they change because I have several different ones. And now, taking this Waverly white chalk paint, I'm going to paint the little circle that was originally in the frame. And then it took me, I think, about 2 coats to get this covered. And then once that's covered up, I'm going to take a wooden heart that I got in a pack from Hobby Lobby quite a while ago in my stash. And I'm going to paint it with some Think Pink paint by Ceramcoat. Ceramcoat. I think that's how you say that. I don't know. I always say Waverly. Then once that's done, all I have to do is hot glue the heart to the circle and the circle back in to my frame. And here is the final project all ready to go for Valentine's Day. If you are not subscribed, I would love for you to stick around so you don't miss any of my future DIYs. And as always, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Creative on the Cheap for behind the scenes, monthly Facebook challenges, bonus DIYs, bargain shopping finds. We do have a monthly challenge going on right now for Trash to Treasure in the month of January. So just hit the pinned announcements in the Facebook group for all the details. Don't forget to stay tuned for some DIY shout outs. And as always, guys, thanks so much for the support. I really, really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!
I lose my breath whenever I see you. You stole my heart, what is it that you do? My life was great till you added colors. Like the moon needs the sun, we don't care about the others. You set my world on fire. You're my heart's desire. I just wanna love you, just wanna